This is CBC Here and Now.
Well, when the heat turns up, this is where townies come to chill out. We are live tonight from Rotary Sunshine Park. Supper time, still warm, Ashley. That's not too bad. Hopefully that lasts this week.
Yeah, we've got lots more heat where that comes from over the next week or so, but it does look like we got a few showers on the way. Hopefully that doesn't ruin the party tonight.
Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. I'm Carolyn Stokes. We'll get back to Chrissy and Ashley in just a few minutes, but we begin with the upcoming elections. Yes, elections plural. People in this province will go to the polls twice next month, with the federal election September 20th, a municipal election slated for 1 week later. Now, most of the candidates are in place for the federal election as the first full day of campaigning kicked off. Colleen Connors reports.
From summer social events to social media posts from party leaders, it looks as though candidates have been getting their face out there for a while now. But yesterday it all became official when Liberal leader Justin Trudeau asked Governor General Mary Simon to dissolve Parliament and beginning the 44th federal election, an election that's only 3 weeks long during a pandemic.
We've had your back, and now it's time to hear your voice. The decisions your government makes right now will define the future your kids and grandkids grow up in.
Day 2 of the campaign looks like this in Newfoundland and Labrador. Candidates plastering windows with red and blue signs and starting an elect or re-elect campaign. Who's running? Let's break it down for you. In long range, it's incumbent Goody Hutchings and a new face for the Conservative Party, Carol Anstey. And the only confirmed Green Party candidate nominated is Tanya Lee Rogers. For Labrador, Yvonne Jones for the Liberals, Shane Dumaresque for the Conservatives, and Amy Norman for the NDP. In Coast of Bays Central, Scott Sims is running for the Liberals again, and Clifford Small is representing the Conservatives. For Bonavista Buren Trinity, Churence Rogers is Liberal, and Sharon Vokey is running for the Conservative Party. On the Avalon, Ken McDonald for the Liberals and Matthew Chapman, Conservatives. St. John's East, Joanne Thompson representing the Liberals, Glenn Etchegary, Conservative, and Mary Shortall for the NDP. St. John's South Mount Pearl, Seamus O'Regan is the Liberal candidate, and Raymond Critch for the NDP. This is no normal campaign, of course. No shaking hands or kissing babies, as they say. With the Delta variant on the doorstep, it will be more like pamphlet drop-offs at a distance and outside chats. For example, Long Range Mountains Liberal candidate Goody Hutchings will not be knocking door to door, but instead arranging socially distanced visits. And Conservative Party leader Erin O'Toole has launched a very much digital campaign, hosting a virtual town hall from this province from the Westin Hotel in Ottawa tonight at 7 o'clock. Colleen Connors, CBC News, Corner Brook.
And as we mentioned, this is the first full day of campaigning for the September 20th federal election. The leaders of the major parties began the tour in Eastern Canada. Conservative leader Erin O'Toole released his party's campaign platform in Ottawa. It focuses on restoring jobs that have been lost during the pandemic and includes a plan to balance the budget in 10 years. A little later in the day, NDP leader Jagmeet Singh appeared in Toronto. He says he'd force corporations to pay back emergency COVID benefits if they paid dividends to shareholders or bonuses to executives. And Liberal leader Justin Trudeau got started in Quebec. He's doing a whistle-stop campaign tour into southwestern Ontario. Bloc Québécois leader Yves-François Blanchet started in Quebec City, making climate change a key priority. And Green Party leader Annamie Paul launched her campaign in Toronto, also focusing on the climate crisis. 54-year-old man from Jackson's Cove died in a moose vehicle accident in central Newfoundland near Springdale on Friday. The RCMP says the man was driving a pickup truck on Harry's Harbour Road when the collision happened, and he was the only person aboard the vehicle. He died at the scene, which was reported to police around 6 a.m. on Friday. Police, fire, and ambulance responders attended the scene. Well, now to tragedy overseas. The Taliban's takeover of Afghanistan has seen thousands taking desperate steps to flee the country. At least 7 people plunged to their deaths as they tried to cling to a U.S. military jet as it left Kabul airport. As you can see, hundreds of Afghans rushed the plane as it moved down the runway. A different video shows crowds trying to board another plane waiting to take off. The Western-backed government fell shortly after President Ashraf Ghani fled too. It took the insurgents less than a fortnight to reach the capital, with any resistance collapsing or withdrawing quickly. The Taliban's return to power effectively ends the 2-decade campaign by the U.S. and its allies, including the UK and Canada, to rebuild Afghanistan. It also signals a likely return to its oppressive style of governing and a sharp reversal to advances made in Afghan women's rights. Well, watching Afghanistan fall to the Taliban is tough for Canadian soldiers from this province who served overseas. Cesar has more.
Kevin Dunn, a retired sergeant who served one mission in a combat role in Afghanistan in 2008, says the so-called summer fighting season left him with not only physical and mental scars, but a sense of pride in how the mission was carried out.
I did my job and I did it well, and people were better because of it. It's the people that are above my control that have the power to have some more influence in that country, and they decided to leave. So they decided to leave before the country was actually fully stable. So that tells me the governments of the world had let us down once again.
Because of that, he says, it wasn't for nothing. But other soldiers he knows find the developing story from Afghanistan unsettling.
Because some of them feel that now we failed, right? And they don't want to look at saying, no, we failed the mission. No, we didn't fail the mission. Our mission was dictated and we did it well, is what happened afterwards. It's the after effects of what had happened. Someone of power needs to stay in that country to help rebuild it.
Dunn's military career spanned over 2 decades across Canada and included a stop in Bosnia too. But it was Afghanistan and the trauma from fighting that left him a different person.
While I was out in Zangabad, my stay was out there. We normally stayed for about a month at a time in the combat outpost before getting switched around. I was involved in a firefight that drug on really for like 14 days. Now, that wasn't 14 days straight. That was sporadic throughout the day, but it was continuous fire. It was something that always hassled you throughout the day.
He knew about a third of the Canadian soldiers who died in Afghanistan. Once home, Dunn got a PTSD diagnosis. And now he helps educate veterans, first responders, and other clients at the Newfoundland and Labrador Veteran Farmer, a cannabis prescribing clinic in Mount Pearl.
So now I use it in my daily routine, where I use cannabis oil in the morning, afternoon, and in the evening. And then I use either a vape pen or a herbal vaporizer as breakthrough in between. And no one's anyone the wiser unless I want to tell them.
Despite the hardships and scars from his time served in a combat zone, Dunn says he would, and other soldiers would do it again, if called on to do so. Cesar, CBC News, Mount Pearl.
Well, 10 corrections officers charged with the death of an inmate were in court today for a preliminary inquiry. It will determine if there is enough evidence for a trial in the death of 33-year-old Jonathan Henoch. He died at Her Majesty's Penitentiary in November of 2019. 3 of the officers are facing manslaughter charges, 7 are charged with criminal negligence causing death, and 1 is also charged with failing to provide the necessities of life. The officers were arrested and released by police in February. Henoch, an Inuk man from Nain, was in custody awaiting a first-degree murder trial. He was accused of killing 88-year-old Regula Shuli in 2016. The province is paying for the officers' legal bills after their union, NAPE, filed a grievance.
Well, It was a beautiful evening up until about 20 minutes ago when we were starting to see some showers work their way. You can see them just in behind me here, starting to move in. And if we take a look at the satellite and radar, you can see them there. It does look like the majority of the rain should pass just north of the metro area, but there is a good chance that we'll see a good soaking of rain with this couple of storm cells. But the temperatures today much different than what we saw yesterday for most of the island. 11 degrees less today in Gander. And if we take a look at those daytime highs, that's where we're sitting. So 25 degrees in St. John's. The last of that humidity stuck around for the day as well, feeling more like 28. Now there is lots more heat and humidity, not nearly as warm as we were seeing this weekend, but still lots of heat and humidity on the way for the rest of the week. I'll get into all those details when I come back.
Newfoundland and Labrador Summer Games were supposed to have started yesterday, but today it was announced those games have been postponed until 2024. And that's not the only event facing a major delay. Tourism Minister Steve Crocker says the 2022 Winter Games will also be postponed by 2 years. Crocker is blaming the delays on the pandemic. Both events will still take place where they were previously planned, in Bay Roberts for the Summer Games and Gander for the Winter Games. Well, Public Health says there are 3 new cases of COVID-19 in the province today, all in the eastern region. The first new case is related to international travel. The second is related to travel within Canada. And the third is a close contact of a previous case. Contact tracing by Public Health is underway, and anyone considered a close contact has been advised to quarantine. There are now 9 active cases in the province. Well, for a brief period last week, 8 ambulances were waiting to offload patients at the Health Sciences Centre in St. John's. Now, that left Eastern Health with no ambulances available to respond to 911 calls once again. This was the scene on Friday afternoon. Eastern Health says around 3 o'clock, the 8 ambulances were delayed offloading, creating a red alert situation for about 15 minutes. Now, in January, CBC News obtained documents from Eastern Health which said that increases in call volumes had left the ambulance service dangerously understaffed. Officials said in those documents that offloading delays were happening every day. Well, in a release, Eastern Health said that when there are delays, they ask neighboring EMS services to respond to emergency requests. Well, those strolling through the pedestrian mall in St. John's on Saturday had the chance to check out the area's newest addition, a pop-up COVID-19 vaccine clinic. Eastern Health staff were in the main lobby of the Scotia Centre on Water Street on Saturday afternoon, where they were providing first and second shots for anyone 12 and up. Their hope is that these pop-up clinics will help improve vaccination rates, especially among younger generations.
Today we are at the pedestrian mall in downtown at Scotia Centre, and we're having a walk-in clinic for COVID-19 vaccine. And it's no appointment, just come on by. We have core clinics here in the city that are operating 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. But we also do what we call satellite clinics. And these are clinics where we go to the people. So this is a clinic that we decided to put on today. We're looking to reach as many people as we possibly can to immunize. And the young adult, 20 to 40 age group, are a group that we'd like to see our rates improve a little.
We heard about it on the news that they were having a needle place here at Scotia Centre, and our last dose was in April in Bay Roberts, so this was a good time for us.
Well, we're both retired, so we decide to travel somewhere. We have our second shot, we have our papers in 3 weeks, and then we're ready to go wherever we want to.
Oh, it was wonderful. The nurse was super helpful, very accommodating, very comfortable, very quick, clean, no pressure, no stress, no stiffness. So it's good.
What Dr. Fitzgerald says, our medical officer of health, is that immunization is the most effective way to help fight COVID-19. So we hope to immunize as many people as we possibly can who are eligible for the vaccine, from the ages 12 and up, and we hope that we will improve our rates here today.
The Targa rally car event has announced its return to the roads. It's set for 4 days over the Thanksgiving weekend. The annual racing competition usually covers more than 1,500 kilometers of central and eastern Newfoundland, but last year's Targa race was canceled due to the pandemic. Targa President Joe Dowden says the event will be back this year, but in a modified way. The entire event will be based in St. John's. Racers will leave the city to use roads in nearby communities, but then come back to St. John's each night. Dowden says Targa will drive through 6 to 8 communities this year. He says all competitors must be fully vaccinated and it will be mandatory to wear a mask at the event. Well, there is a new newspaper in the Bay St. George area. The first edition of the Appellation hit the streets last week. It's published by Rec House Press, a community printing and publishing house based in Port aux Basques. Editor-in-Chief Renee Roy says what makes the paper different from other news sources is that it's completely focused on local news. Roy is also editor-in-chief of the Rec House Weekly, a newspaper he launched last year on the Southwest Coast. He says he may also start a similar local newspaper in Corner Brook in the future. Well, we have been having a warm August and people have been flocking to beaches, lakes, and ponds to cool off. And that's where Chrissy Holmes is tonight at Rotary's Sunshine Park in St. John's. Seems pretty busy in the water over there tonight, Chrissy.
You know, Carolyn, I kind of wore the wrong outfit here, but luckily my new friends have not. And speak about beat the heat, I think we're starting to beat it here now in a minute. But listen, we've got some cool tricks and some cool people that we're going to introduce you to. Girls, what are your names?
I'm Ella. I'm Ainsley. I'm Anna.
Okay, so now anybody not in St. John's knows that when the heat goes up, Sunshine Park is where you go. Now, I understand that you guys have been doing some pretty cool jumps. Yeah. And you want to do them on the news. There goes the poo emoji. Somebody got to get that. Okay, so tell us what you're going to do up here on the dock.
I'm just going to jump really far. I'm going to stay on the hook.
Okay.
I'm going to do cannonball.
Okay, you guys go on over and we'll give you the countdown in 1 minute. We're going to get that jump live on the news. Guys, what are your names? Where are you from?
I'm Tyson.
Tyson?
I'm Brady.
Brady?
I'm Logan.
Excellent. So right on cue, it's like things just got a little bit dark, but earlier today, things pretty good. I understand that you actually live in the area. What's the weather like here today?
Oh, it's the weather was really good today.
Yeah.
It got pretty bad like a few minutes ago though.
Right, like right on cue, like just a couple of minutes ago.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
But listen, what was the rest of the day like? You guys have been here maxing, relaxing. Like what did you do today?
Well, actually, I went swimming in the water today. Me and my friend Logan, we found an Apple Watch.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we returned it to the owner, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah. We found the owner's name and then we messaged them and stuff and got it back to them.
Okay, well that's pretty good. Dean, what about yourself? What did you do today?
I went kayaking for the first time.
First time? How was it?
Oh, it was fun.
It's pretty amazing. And like just as we started to go, you probably noticed like the floaty there. You don't usually like to see that guy floating around the little float. But you guys got all the toys here. It's pretty good. Yeah. So what else? Give us compare and contrast. At the height of today, how many people were down here today?
Well, this morning wasn't that there wasn't that much people. Then it really got crowded pretty fast.
Yeah, it was packed here earlier today around like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Like I'd say hundreds of people, like 100 or 200 people here today easily.
So people doing good, having a good time. Excellent. Listen, I think those girls, you guys, I'm going to draw your attention over here in 1 second because I think we're going to need to give these girls a countdown. You guys ready for this? We're going to capture this. Remember our friends that we just met a minute ago? I think this is wild watching all these kids like jump off of here. You guys ready for this?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! All right. There you go. Look, that is what it's all about. It's all about beating the heat. But I tell you what, you know, right on cue, as soon as we're live on the news, here comes, like, what is that all about?
It's a really dark cloud. It's looking to be like a storm, but the weather got really bad really quick.
All right. Well, it's not so bad just yet, but you know what? We're going to find out what's going to happen here now in a minute, because there's something to all this cloud. Guys, listen, have a great time. You're actually you might want to warm up, get back in the water.
Probably going to go get back in the water.
Right on. Well, listen, guys, thank you so much for chatting with us, and I hope you have the most awesome evening ever.
You too.
Yeah, and I hope that this storm cloud kind of holds off, but we're going to find out what is up with that when Ashley Brauweiler comes back just after this with the weather.
Time for a look at the weather. And Ashley, you're out to Sunshine Park tonight. We saw that those dark clouds were starting to move in when Chrissy was up just before the break. How is it looking there now? Are you expecting some rain?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It looks like it's kind of blowing over at the moment, though. The clouds are moving fairly quickly, but I mean, I love this weather, so this makes me very happy to be out in it.
You're the weather person. You love all weather.
Exactly. Whether it's really hot or it's raining, I love all of it. But let's take a look at that satellite and radar right now, just to show you what's happening right now. We do have those showers working their way for the northern Avalon. If we zoom in a little bit, you can see right where they are. Looks like the heaviest rain's heading north of us at the moment, but there is a few showers just to the south as well. Now we're going to see this over the next probably hour or so, and then that should clear out and be that, and then clear out for the rest of the night, it looks like. So temperatures right now still sitting at 25, although I'm out here now and it feels a little bit cooler than that. And we are going to see these temperatures drop. You can see in behind 17, 18 degrees in Terra Nova. Those temperatures were much warmer this afternoon, and we're still hanging on to a little bit of that humidity, but this is what is going to break that humidity as we head through the overnight tonight. So temperatures much nicer tonight for sleeping, because if you're anything like me, there was not a whole lot of that happening thanks to all that heat in the house, but it does look like it's going to build as we head through even tomorrow. Wednesday looks like that heat will be there as well, really starting to see that heat right across the province. And then same thing as we get into Thursday. It looks like we'll hit those 30s again through daytime highs through central. We'll say goodbye to that though as we get into the weekend, as some much colder air will move in. So model doing really well picking up those showers over the Avalon. They should end, like I said, over the next couple of hours. Looking at a fairly quiet evening tonight. There are some showers and thunderstorms up across Lab West as well, and that should end overnight. And then some showers work their way from central Labrador towards the southeast coast, as well as the northern peninsula as we get into the early morning hours. But like I said, temperatures much nicer for sleeping tonight. Oh, there's that rain, just felt a few drops there. But we're looking at temperatures between 11 to 14 degrees with the winds easing. So it'll be a nice day nice night to open up those windows. And as we head through tomorrow, those showers from the northern peninsula pretty much all along the northeast coast, we should see the potential for some showers in the morning, and then that should clear as the day goes on. Mix of sun and cloud for the most part, or some cloudy periods through the day as well. Fairly quiet across Labrador. Chance of a few showers, maybe a few afternoon thunderstorms possible for Labrador City as well. But overall, it will be a fairly nice day as far as those temperatures go. Certainly towards the east, as we see our temperatures back up around 24 degrees rather for St. John's. The winds, a nice breeze out of the west, about 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. A little bit warmer as you head towards Clarenville. 27 degrees will be the afternoon high for you. And then central, like I said, that chance of a few showers in the morning hours. The afternoon should clear out quite nicely. Temperature around 26 degrees as the daytime high. And then for the west coast, you're looking at a temperature near 25 degrees. That Humber Valley should say 25 as well. Don't worry, it's not going to go down to 5 degrees for the afternoon tomorrow. And then as you head towards the northern peninsula, your temperature's into the 20s as well. Quite warm though. It looks like a pocket of some warm air will continue as we start to see that warmer air move in. Happy Valley, Goose Bay, seeing a high near 25 degrees, and then again keeping that chance of showers in for Lab West, and the risk of a few thunder showers with that one as well. So this will be the start of the humidity, or at least the start of the warm temperatures, but we're going to see that humidity move in through the week as well, and I'll get into all those details with your full long-range forecast.
Thanks, Ashley. Well, a local hair salon and food truck partnered with the Association for New Canadians over the weekend to raise money for their Welcome Rainbow project. The project aims to raise $100,000 to bring 5 LGBTQ+ refugees to St. John's.
So today what we're doing is we're hoping to sponsor 5 LGBTQ+ identifying refugees. Seahorse Salon has started a pop-up salon here at 6 Harvey Road. They booked appointments. They'll also be doing drop-ins for haircuts, with all the proceeds going to sponsor LGBTQ identifying individuals.
Hopefully we'll be able to do this again. It's really nice to take a break out of your normal workday and do something that's kind of similar, but for a really good cause. It just feels good.
ANC's Global Eats food truck is here as well, and all of their profits they will be also donating to our sponsorship effort. As we were researching for this project, we started hearing about some of the disproportionate impact that the pandemic was having on LGBTQ identifying refugees in camps. They were specifically being targeted, and some of the pandemic rules and regulations were being used to further target and discriminate against them. $20,000, basically that will sponsor someone to live here for 1 year. It will pay for their rent, food, all the basics of life. We've already got $25,000, so we're hoping to raise an additional $75,000. And as soon as we hit our target, we hope to start that sponsorship process.
We actually were getting ready to leave, to come back here, and the border closed.
Finally, back home in Newfoundland after being stranded in a U.S. hotel for the pandemic. Their story coming up. After 18 months living in a hotel in the United States, an American couple is finally back home on the Northern Peninsula. Mark and Linda Wilkoff were visiting family in Virginia when the pandemic struck and the border closed. They ended up living in a hotel there for 18 months. Mark Wilkoff joins us now from his home sweet home in St. Lunaire, Griffin. So first of all, welcome back.
Oh, thank you very much. It's wonderful to be back, let me tell you.
Yeah, how did it feel for you and your wife to walk through the doors of your own home, sleep in your own bed for the first time in 18 months?
Well, we were kind of in our happy place, but in a way it was a little surreal. You know, you've been waiting for this for 18 months, thinking any month it's going to be, the border's going to open. So when it finally does and we're able to get home, it's a little surreal, but it was very exciting for us.
Can you explain your connection to this province? Because you're from the United States, but how did you end up with a home on the Northern Peninsula?
Yeah, everyone asks that question. In 2002, we were wanting to get out of the Washington, D.C. area for a month or so because of all the 9/11 stuff that had happened. And so we were looking to go somewhere, and we were going to go up to Alaska, actually, but the airlines wouldn't fly our dog. So we then began looking at the times, and I looked at the map and I saw this island. And at the time I said, wow, what is Newfoundland? And to be honest, we'd never heard of it, have never known anybody that's ever been here, didn't have any relatives here, but it looked like a fun place to go visit. So in the summer of 2002, we rented an RV and headed up here and spent a month on the island and just fell in love with it. And we were getting ready to leave and we saw this incredible double rainbow up here in the Northern Peninsula, and we said, we're going to buy a house up there. And so the next year in 2003, we bought this house. And we moved pretty much up here. We spend about half our time up here and half our time in the States.
Well, I hate to take you back there because you're finally out of that hotel, but can we talk about the hotel? You know, 18 months is such a long time to be living in a hotel room. Can you tell us what the circumstances were that caused you to be in a hotel for such a long time?
Absolutely. I mean, we went down to visit our family and our annual medical appointments. And we always stay in this same hotel whenever we go down there because it's very convenient. It's only a mile or so from our family and only a few blocks from where we go to the doctor. And we were staying there and we actually were getting ready to leave to come back here. And the border closed. And we were trying to decide what to do. And we had several conversations with the general manager about what to do. And he offered us this incredible rate that if we would stay there, we would have a rate that was actually less for us than to move into an apartment.
I was wondering about that because you would think that
Yes.
living in a hotel would be very expensive, and why wouldn't you, try to find an apartment in the area? But you're saying that it was cheaper to live in the hotel.
Oh, absolutely. And so for us to stay in the hotel where, we had a 2-room suite and they cleaned our room, so we had no cleaning stuff to do. They did our laundry, our bedding, and our towels. They provided us with electricity and our furniture. And, by the time you look at that and what it would cost us there, if we were to rent a place, it would have been much more expensive to be that convenient to our doctors and to our family.
So I guess you're in for a bit of a lifestyle adjustment then if you haven't been cleaning or I assume cooking for the past 18 months, because I assume you don't have a kitchen in the hotel room?
We did not. We had 2 small refrigerators and a microwave and a toaster. And we're not big breakfast eaters, so we were able to cook breakfast. And we did buy some frozen food occasionally that we did in the microwave, but we spent a lot of time eating out. So now we are getting back to home cooking again, which we've looked forward to.
I bet. What was it like living in the hotel? Like, were there other guests there?
For about 3 or 4 weeks, or maybe even 5 weeks, we were the only guests in the hotel. And this is a 500-room hotel, a fairly sizable hotel in the Washington, D.C. area. So it's kind of a mutually beneficial thing for us and for the hotel, because we were there so they could justify to their owners to stay open to help take care of us. And they were very nice to us.
You must have developed quite a relationship with the staff at the hotel. I would imagine it would be a little bit sad to say goodbye.
They became our bubble family. I mean, that's the easiest way to describe it.
Interesting and unusual experience you and your wife had. Once again, welcome home, and thank you so much for sharing your story with us.
Oh, it's our pleasure. It's a unique story. We're happy to be here and happy to share it, but we're most especially happy to be back with our friends here.
Rottweiler says there's more rain coming. I don't know, it feels like it. What do you guys think? Is it gonna rain any more here or what?
No, probably. I don't think it is, because it's just a little shower.
Right, so that's according to them. Mom's got the blanket ready to go. We're gonna get the story at like this turning point time of the day coming up on Here and Now. You don't think so?
Well, we're going to head back to Chrissy Holmes there, who's live at Rotary Sunshine Park in St. John's. Been a really busy spot during the recent stretch of warm weather. How is it looking there now with all of those clouds that were moving in?
Carolyn, right on cue, the place cleared out, like you'd imagine, except for this really dedicated group of people, and I'm going to introduce you to them right now because nothing's stopping them from getting in the water. What are your names, guys? Tell us a little bit.
I'm Caleb.
Okay.
I'm Ben.
Yep.
I'm Clark.
I'm Liam.
Yep.
And I'm Logan.
Okay, so rain, you don't mind that? Like, for real?
No.
You guys are cool?
Yeah.
Okay, so listen, tell me a little bit about your swim experience. Like, you guys are kind of fish. Like, are you like an actual swimmer?
Yeah, I'm on a swim team.
Yeah, which team?
I forget what it's called.
But everybody else, like, what you been doing for the rest of the summer? What are you guys into?
I'm into like hockey.
Yeah?
Same with me. I'm in a lot of hockey.
Yeah, right on. What about you guys? What are you into?
Hockey.
Hockey bus?
Yeah.
Do you want to? Are you in hockey yet, or you're gonna go there next year or something?
I'm in hockey now.
Right on. All right. So the boys are in hockey. By winter, you're doing the ice thing. By summer, you're doing the water thing. Listen, what'd you do in the middle of the day today when it got really hot? First of all, how hot did it get? And what did you actually do to beat the heat in the middle of the day today?
I had hockey for about 6 hours.
Wait, 6 hours of hockey? What are you, the NHL?
No.
No, not yet. He's getting there, though. 6 hour hockey, I suppose. What were you guys doing in the middle of the day today to beat the heat?
I was mostly like on my bike and playing video games.
Right on. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about lunch? Like, what do you do? What do you eat for lunch on a day like this? Do you mind? Like, what's the go-to snack? What do you eat?
I don't know. I guess I'm in a camp, so me and my brother are in a camp, so we kind of just stay inside and eat our lunch that we packed. So
yeah, fair enough. What's the snack food? Where were you guys going to? Because some people don't like eating on hot days, right? No.
All of us, when we came here, we got McDonald's.
Right on. Listen, we got a little buddy over here. I think that guy's looking for a snack too. One of the fun facts about Sunshine Rotary Park is like you can swim with the ducks. Like, is this a thing? Like you guys all just do? You just swim with the ducks here?
Yeah, a little bit. But
Yeah.
We mostly just jump off the dock.
Are you guys ready to do a massive jump for us?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna let you go over there. You're gonna wait for the cue though, right?
Yep.
You're not gonna do any jumps. You got a plan for the jump? Live on news, no pressure?
No.
Okay. All right. You guys go on over there. Now, they don't mind the water, obviously. Now, the other part of this story is there's always somebody, so that's them raring to go. And then there's Mom over here with, with the towel packed up and everything.
Ready anytime.
What's your name? Sorry.
Eugenia.
Eugenia, you're ready to go by the looks of it.
Kind of, but summer's almost over, so I'm trying to soak up all the nice days I could get, rain or shine. We're doing stuff, keeping them busy.
Right?
Yeah.
I think they're ready to go.
Yes.
This was an awesome day here. You actually came late in the day?
We did. I was working till 5, so I promised them that we'd get to the water today. So I had to come.
You kept the promise.
Kept the promise.
Well, let's come on over here. I'll give them the countdown, and then maybe she's getting the wrap up countdown of her own, right?
Yeah.
All right. So let Curtis get the focus here. All right. So here we go. Are these guys ready? We're gonna give them the countdown in 5,
4, 3, 2, 1, go!
All right, there you go, guys. All right. Well, that is the scene. Even though the temperature's kind of dipped a little bit, we are live enjoying the best of summer from Rotary Sunshine Park.
It has been a desperate 48 hours since the deadly earthquake struck western Haiti that killed nearly 1,300 people. Thousands in the Caribbean nation are now without a roof, at the mercy of the elements, but many others are still missing amid the stretches of rubble. Now, with heavy rain in the forecast, the ongoing search for survivors could get a lot more complicated. Stephen D'Souza reports.
The painstaking effort to sort through the aftermath of Saturday's quake, searching for survivors, was always urgent. Now, with heavy rains coming from a tropical depression, bringing potential flooding and risk of mudslides with it, the recovery effort has become even more critical.
It also worries me because I know that my fellow citizens are sleeping outside and they might be impacted because of the rain and the possible flash floods that may occur.
The open air that had been a refuge from aftershocks is set to become a problem overnight because of Tropical Depression Grace, compounding a tragedy that's left hundreds dead, thousands without homes. Our main concern is to get tents. We need 30,000 tents in the area. We were not prepared to face this problem, this man says. But getting aid to the hardest hit region in the south, about 180 kilometers away from the capital, has been difficult. The area is controlled by gangs who are limiting access.
So as crazy as it may sound, we only have access through helicopters. So I'd say right now that's probably the biggest challenge.
That's left hospitals already devastated by COVID and children, also orphaned during the pandemic, to fend for themselves. Many are awaiting basic supplies like water and shelter. We're sleeping in the street. We have nowhere to sleep because our home is destroyed and no authority to help us, this man says. Today, the country's president promised a tenfold increase in efforts to help the victims, but aid groups say, given the situation, that's a challenge.
Very difficult to see, light at the end of that tunnel, honestly, because they have to negotiate with gangs.
Some help has made it through, and patients have been airlifted to safety. But for the rest, they must wait and hope that help will come. Stephen D'Souza, CBC News, Toronto.
Blackberry was once seen as a leading option in the consumer smartphone field before stiff competition prompted the company to pivot to business users. Now the tech company says its struggles may be in the rear view mirror as it develops software for smart cars. But some experts are skeptical and say the company has to remember to check its blind spot. CBC's Philippe Demagnier reports.
Since shifting away from smartphones to focus on software, Blackberry is planning a major comeback. The company recently teamed up with Amazon to build a new platform for smart cars, Blackberry Ivy, collecting data in real time and making automated suggestions to drivers.
You can look at things like traffic congestion or offering new services to your customers, like being able to recommend where there's an open parking space based on where you're at currently.
Tesla, one of the biggest competitors in the space, currently has less than 2 million cars on the road worldwide. BlackBerry's operating system, which Ivy builds on, is embedded in nearly 100 times more vehicles.
It's a big advantage for BlackBerry to already be in close to 200 million smart vehicles right now. They have much more data points, much more data that they can use to improve their systems compared to Tesla.
A competitive edge that could position BlackBerry as a leader in self-driving technology, a new field that has a lot of real-world issues still to solve. But this expert warns not to get complacent.
I hope that they learn the lesson from the smartphone, not thinking that they're too big to fail.
Last year, the company invested nearly a quarter of its revenue into research and development.
We also, in the last year, filed and were granted around 2,000 patents. So we're continuing to truly innovate.
The next hurdle, though, turning that innovation into profit. The Waterloo, Ontario company has been running at a loss for the past 9 quarters.
Whenever you get these gigantic transformations of companies that are completely abandoning their only source of revenue, the stock market typically doesn't like that.
Except this year, the price of BlackBerry's shares surged out of nowhere at the end of January and again here in June. All thanks to a committed group of Reddit investors like the ones that pumped up GameStop and AMC Theaters stocks earlier this year. New investment and excitement for a company looking to make a meaningful move in technology once again. Philippe de Montigny, CBC News, Waterloo.
Ashley is back with the look at the long range. I see you have put your coat on. So that's a sign of how things are out there. I guess it's cooling down, is it?
Yes, it is. And I am alone on the beach now. There is nobody here. So I've parked myself next to the sandcastle and figured we'd just talk about the long range forecast. Why not?
Perfect.
Let's take a look just one more time at the satellite and radar just to show you where these showers are across the Avalon. Looks like the heaviest showers are now working their way offshore from the northern tip of the northeast Avalon, but there are some showers in there behind that are working their way across the northwest Avalon, and that will move over, it looks like, over the next hour or so, and then that should be the end of the showers tonight. And as we head through the day on Wednesday, it does look like things should be fairly unsettled for parts of northern Labrador through the first half of the day. We may see a few showers as well for the west coast of the island towards central in the afternoon. Some pop-up showers are certainly possible, but overall, we are going to see that heat and humidity return as we get into Thursday afternoon. More southerly flow or southwesterly flow, so some more showers possible, likely some cloud cover as well towards central and eastern areas of the island, and then again some unsettled conditions for parts of Labrador. That will work its way through as we get into Friday as well. So temperatures on Wednesday, look at that, much nicer. Back into that hot weather, anywhere from 27 to 31 degrees. The good news with this one is it looks like the south coast won't get socked in fog, so your temperatures will actually be a lot nicer. Should sit into the mid-20s through the day on Wednesday, and then even reaching that 30-degree mark again up through parts of Labrador. Happy Valley, Goose Bay, same thing. And then Nain, going to keep you a little bit cooler, but around seasonal, about 18 degrees for your daytime high on Wednesday. And as we get into Thursday, temperatures a little cooler for you, back down to about 15 degrees, but the rest of Labrador looking beautiful. Mid-20s, but again, unsettled, it looks like at this point. Same thing for the southwest. Otherwise, sunshine through the day. The showers that happen will likely be in the morning, and then they should clear out. Temperatures will be sitting in the 20s, and again, back up into the 30s for central Labrador. So after that, as we get into the weekend, does look like things will be unsettled. And then note what happens on Saturday. We're going to see a big dip in those temperatures. It looks like it's going to stick around for the weekend, but temperatures sitting around 18 degrees for St. John's and eastern Newfoundland. As we look towards central, you're going to hang on to that heat through Friday, but again, a little bit of a drop in those temperatures on Saturday. Same thing for western Newfoundland. At this point, have your temperature in and around 20 degrees. And then for eastern Labrador, there's that dip. So 18, 19 degrees to start off the weekend, but sunshine for Lab West as you get into Saturday. This shot, what is that? Beautiful shot, flat, calm, and tilting. Did you notice this weekend it was eerily calm with no wind? It's one of those warm days and calm winds for sure. But that's a great shot there from Chris. Thank you so much for sharing that. And if you have any weather photos, send them to nlphotos@cbc.ca.
Wow, that is just gorgeous. And I did notice that eerie calm with no wind. I'm also hearing lots of screaming and hooting and hollering behind you there. So I guess there is still some folks hanging around the park.
Well, the smart thing was to get into the water, because right now the water feels warmer than it does out here. So I might maybe go dip my feet in there.
Sounds like a plan. Thanks so much, Ashley. And thanks to everyone at home for watching. Hope to see you again tomorrow.
Good night.